Hello everyone. So this is a new video. So I wanted to show you a couple of ways you guys can create some edges on a platform. This is the platform that we are going to be looking at. It's a very simple platform, as you can see. So this is the geometry. Now, what did I do? I copied the edge, like I showed in another video. So now I have the edge, only the edge itself, this one here, and then I'm going to use this to make a path around it. So I had a couple of different ways to do this. So let's turn this one off. So one of the ways is to do this. So this here is actually just the curves. And then if you go into the modifier stack, not the modifier, but the edge page, whatever they're called, you can, with these two, you can create how big they are, how tall, and how thick it is. So this is the first edge, a very simple one. So this is the base one I used. Now from this one, I then created this one here. Now this is exactly the same thing, but then if we go into here, you can see that the settings are the same, almost the same. This one is a little bit smaller. And if I go to edit mode, you can see that here, if I press N and go to item, and I select one of the points, you can see that the radius, has been modified. So they are not all the same. So what did I do? So I deselected this, then go to select, random select, and then I went to like 35, something like this, 35%. And then from here, with proportional editing and then random, I deselect that. Let's go back. Yeah, I press Alt S to scale. Yeah, like now I can scale individual points, and then I can actually, with toggling the mouse wheel, I can actually change a little bit how much the proportional editing affects the rest. And so this is what I did. So to create this one. Now from that one, there's also another version. That is this one, and this is actually this version. But then what I did is I selected all of them. And then with Control T, I can actually move it out. So it was standing like this, so straight up. And I thought, well, it would be cool if they kind of lay a little bit flat. You can actually make it all the way flat, if that's your thing. But I liked it like in a 60-degree angle. I thought it was looked pretty nice, like this. So yeah. And then you can still go and edit them individually, or make them bigger or smaller. Yeah, but I thought the 0.1.1 worked quite well. Now, one of the ones that you guys on the Discord said that you liked was this one here. So let me go. So this one is the same curve, but then I use an object on the curve panel. Here, I used an object, this object, so this one here, to actually create this shape. Now, so if I go into edit mode and I move this one here, you can see, let me turn off proportional editing because I don't need this at this moment. I can actually move this and create different geometry with this. And if I wanted, I can actually add a new point by subdividing these two and then creating something like this. Wait a second, I just want this one, a single point, and I can do like this. And then you can see that it creates this geometry along the full path. Yeah. Let's undo all this, like so. And now, if you want to, you can still actually edit this single point and make it bigger or smaller. That's yeah. So you can actually then do this or select all of them, Control T, and then rotate it. Yeah. So that's the one you guys quite liked it. The only thing is, because it goes all the way around, looking like this, and I'll show it in game in a little bit. It looks pretty nice and smooth. The only issue is if you make this something that you don't collide with, yeah, it can kind of look a little bit weird. But what you can do is actually just select, when you are selecting the curve to actually create this, just select the section from here to here. So let's say you select from here, this point to this point, and then you actually just make this one a separate curve, and on the other side, and then you can then have this shape go only on these sides and have it open on the front and back of the platform. And then going to the one that I personally like most, where is it? That's this one. So on this one here, it's a more stylized, low poly version. I had a slightly more higher poly version of this, but when I use it in game, it tanked the FPS quite a lot because there were so many verts. So I had to decimate it a little bit, but in game it actually still looks pretty good. So how did I make this one? So same thing. So the curve is still the same curve. I only made this. So let me isolate it, and this is what I made. Yeah. So this is. Let me go into the modifier stack and turn off. There are a bunch of modifiers. Let me turn this one off. There we go. So this is the base mesh. So it's actually a cube that I split on one of the edges. And if then we go to left, and you can see that the origin point is this one here. It's over here. And it's important that it's over here to this point, because there's going to be a line. This is going to be the platform. The platform going to go this way and down, and you want this section here and this section here to intersect the platform. Otherwise, there will be a hole where you can look through, and that just looks weird. So when you have it finished, so this was actually first was actually like this. Oh, select all. So it was actually like so, and I just pulled it back so that this point was more in this angle here, so that it would intersect more with the platform. Then from there, I used random transform to make these edges. I selected points, and then I moved them to make a more interesting shape. Now what is important is that these points here, the outer points, so all these and all these here, align exactly the same. So a way to do that is select one point and then select the other one, and then do scale X, and then do 0, then scale Y, and then 0, and then they will be in the same position. So I'll show you. So if I go and move this one up, and then select this one, I can go Shift Z, 0, and then Shift Y, 0. Why is it not working? I did something wrong again. So we're back. I was just checking out why it was not working. So I had the position where it transforms on individual origins, and you have to go into boundary box center. So if now I move this one out like so, and I'll select this one and go scale Z 0, then scale Y 0, you'll see that now they are all perfectly aligned in the X and Y axis. And then, so the Z and Y axis, right? You have to do it for all these points, otherwise they will not line up correctly. Now if I then leave out of edit mode, they're only so they will line up perfectly. Only on one point you will see that it's a little bit broken, and that's here. So there will be the first and last section from the whole thing will actually not line up perfectly. I have tried multiple things to fix this. Yeah, it didn't work out very well. I may have an idea. Just a second, let me test it out. Okay, so I was trying to see if I could fix the geometry there, but I thought I had an idea, but it didn't work. So this is the platform, so that's how it looks. And then to actually create these parts that were bigger, I used the same trick I used before. So I selected the curve, go into edit mode. It takes a little while, yeah. And I selected all, and then with the random transform and selecting random select, and then this one here, proportional editing to random. I then scaled individual points into, yeah, to make them bigger and smaller to create the difference. So my computer is lagging a little bit due to making this. I believe. Yeah. Okay. And then the last one that I created was this, and I turn it on, of course. There we are. And with these rocks, yeah. So same thing, using the curve, and then using the mesh, and then using an array, then using the curve to tell the array where to go, and then I have a subdivision here, and just one single subdivision so that it's smoother. And if you want to see how they look, let me, where are we? And let me turn this one off and the array off as well. And this is the mesh that I'm using for it. And if I then do the subdivision, it looks like this. Yeah. And then this is what I'm using the array for, to go all the way around. So actually this one, I thought it would tank the FPS, but actually it was not that bad. It was actually quite okay. It didn't drop that much. Almost nothing. So now I'm gonna show you that in a little bit. So I will make a separate video on how to create this rocks, this style. It's super easy. And I'll show you in a different video, because I use it quite often to create rubble, or just to create a nice platform with some new normals. So okay, so let's go into the game window. Have this on. We see game window, there we are. Now let's so let me turn on, and on this one here, you can see the FPS. It's at so this is with the rocks. The rocks have their collision turned on, so you should try to select and then turn off mesh collision, the mesh collider on it, so that when you're here you don't actually get interference because of it. Yeah, now it can just run on it. Now if we change this one to a different one, let's say this is a different version. This is just the standard one that's standing up. This is a standard one, just standing up. And for the FPS, it's doing fine. It's over 400 most of the time. Some slight drops here and there, but that is not tanking, but we don't have a lot of things in the scene at the moment. So then going down to the next one, there we are. This is how it would look. Do I have? Yeah, so I already turned off the collision. Next one looks like so. Almost the same, but then it's angled. So you actually, from the top, you don't see it very well, but if you go then to the side, if you fall, you can see that it's angled out a little bit. And then we have this one. This is the one you guys quite like. This one here, and that's the shape. But look kind of weird when Sonic goes through it. So if you're using only on the sides, it's that looks really nice. But then when he kind of walks through it, it's kind of weird. So I wouldn't use it to go all the way around, or maybe just for a moving platform. You can make that all the way around so that Sonic doesn't fall off as easy. That could be an option. Then this is my favorite one, and it doesn't have colors on for some reason. But yeah, so I like this one quite a lot, because if you look then from the side, yeah, it looks quite nice. So this one also still has the collision on, so let me turn off the collision on this one. I should have the collision off. There we go. Still there. Where is it? Where did they put it? Oh, there it is. There. Now there is no collision anymore. So I like this one quite a lot because it's very stylized, and from the side it also looks quite nice. And then the last one will be the rocks. Where did I put that one? This one? There we are. Yeah, so rocks, the one we started with. So, okay, so these are some easy ways to create a nice edge on your platform to help out visualize the end of it, and just for, yeah, just visually pleasing to have this. You can also use this to create a path along the platform, and maybe I'll make a short video on that in the future as well, just to show you how you can actually then mark a path on a platform to, yeah, help navigate the player to where he should go. Okay, so that's it for this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.